I would describe it as a beautiful journey of a 12-year-old boy who one day makes a wish, and that he turns big, and his wish gets granted. And the next morning when he wakes up, he becomes 24. Um, Obviously, from 12 to 24, it's a huge jump, and of course, he's mentally 12 years old, but he's physically 24. And his journey thereafter in this so-called adult world, and how he encounters the love of his life, which is Mythica, which is played by Amna Sharif, and of course then the fairy tale begins. So essentially it's a fairy tale, it's a beautiful journey, which has got its ups and downs, and of course, like they say, all fairy tales begin with once upon a time and end with happily ever after. The whole point of Avishkar is that this one also begins with once upon a time, but does it also end with and they lived happily ever after is the question. Since I co-wrote it, I lived with the character for about 4 years. I knew exactly how I wanted to do it when I was writing it. I co-wrote it with a writer called Ravindra Manga, and I think it was there inside me all along. It's just that I had to make sure that there was a very thin line between looking innocent and looking probably mentally retarded. It was important. So keeping that limitation in mind, I had to draft a certain character in my head and behave like a 12-year-old as opposed to behaving like someone who's mentally challenged. So yeah, at times there were times where I would go over top and kind of just my director would hold me back and say that you need to be in character. Sometimes there were times where I would slip, but all in all we managed it. I think it is the script that actually made me really, really excited, and that's where I decided that I want to produce it. When the camera was switched on, I was an actor, but I had to switch off from all the external distractions in terms of production distractions, whether it's the budget issues or any other requirement issues. When I'm not shooting, I used to obviously be present on the sets 24 hours because I'm the producer at the end of the day, and also the co-writer. So it makes, even if one job gets over, the other job is still there. It's a continuous job. So I had to balance the act out. But I think I got saved because I had a great team supporting me, whether it was my production or my technical team or my other co-actors. I think everyone supported the film and loved it as much as I did, which is why I could balance the act. Otherwise, I think to multitask when you're making a film for the first time, it's very difficult. Of course, fairy tales are visually much more stunning looking, much more brighter looking. So of course, it has more positivity than negativity. You'd rather watch a happy film than watch a sad, grim, depressing film. There's no doubt about it. But yes, like coming back to your question, I think more than the genre, I think the story is what matters. So we have dwelt upon the fact that it's a fairy tale, but yes, it definitely got a story to it. So I think the story is what we're trying to sell here. Of course, by genre, by default, it happens to be a fairy tale, but not high on visual effects. In the sense, there are not too many computer graphics. There are precisely 3 scenes where there are computer graphics. Otherwise, there's no animation. There's nothing. There's no magic obviously happening in front of you. It's just a very sweet, surreal film, treated in a very realistic atmosphere, which has got realistic situations. But it takes you into a world which is very imaginary, yet at the same time very simple, very innocent, into an era. Even though it's based in contemporary times, it takes you into a beautiful, simple, a pure world, which is almost, I think, non-existent today. I do believe in miracles. I do believe in positive things happening around us. I do also now believe, after going through this experience called Avishkar, that miracles do happen around us. It's just that we fail to notice it. And there are good things happening around us at all times. It's just that we dwell into the negative things so much that we automatically start to overlook and bypass the positive things. That's what I think. See, the beauty about this fairy tale is that it doesn't go into the genre of a magical film. Now, when you say magical film, then you're attracting the child, the kids' audience. When you say it's a romantic film with just a romance in it, I think then you're attracting your youth and your college and your middle 30s and your middle age. But when you say that it's a universally appealing film, where it's got elements for children, it's got elements for families, it's got elements for even senior citizens for that matter, which I can almost vouch for, then I would call it a very, very safe bet. And Avishkar is just that. For me, the music of a fairy tale is as critical as anything else. I didn't want the regular run-of-the-mill commercial music in this film, although I wanted commercial, but I wanted something that's extremely melodious, something that's extremely soulful, something that will attract an old world charm with the simplicity and the innocence. And that's why we chose unconventional music directors like Ankur Tiwari, Mikey McCleary and Zulfi. It's the kind of film where you don't laugh. It's the kind of film where you smile all through. And I think those films are more effective than just laughing, because the whole graph of comedy films is that you laugh, then there is a lull, then again you laugh, then again there is a lull, then again you laugh, then again there is a lull. Because how many gags can you have in a comedy film? But when you're smiling all throughout, There's a certain amount of consistency, and that's the kind of film it is. It's going to bring a smile to your face all throughout.